Hey, how you doing? I hope you're safe and well. Thank you for tuning in to join me on what is, I'm pleased to reveal, our Christmas podcast episode. Today, I invite you to join me at the staff Christmas party at Unleash Your Potential. And I've got the pleasure of introducing you to two key members of my team, Colita, who does all our marketing, and Lyn, who is our operations manager and customer champion. And you're going to hear us talk about our review of 2020, both in our NLP training business and on the podcast. So please pull up a chair, grab yourself a glass of your favourite tipple, and hear how we've got on this year.
Well, I think I'm super proud of all of our stats, to be fair. And I know that, number one, you spent 1,072 hours, which equates to 64,320 minutes in the training room in 2020, which just, when I looked at it, and actually even 640 minutes of online free training doing the webinars. So that is a lot of training, considering if you look at how the year has been, the pandemic and Corona, it didn't stop you. It was just like, how are we going to do this? How are we going to pivot? So winning Pivot of the Entrepreneur of the Year for Wales. Whoop, whoop. That's another one we slotted in quite nicely. We won 2 awards, or rather Laura won Pivot Entrepreneur of the Year and Best NL or Leading NLP Trainer in Wales. So
hang on, let me get that out.
It's like that. What was that program with the conveyor belt? And here we have the award for.
Yeah. Here we go. Oh, look, I'm gonna have to, like, where am I going to hold it? Oh, there we are. So that was another award I got. That was for being the best NLP trainer in Wales.
Perfect.
And I think winner.
The other big one for me was the fact that so far to date, as of today, we've had 12,518 downloads of the podcast. So thank you everybody for listening, tuning in and downloading the podcast. That's one of the big ones for me that I really like. Awesome.
Say that again. How many downloads we had of the podcast?
12,518 as of about 5 o'clock this afternoon.
We should have a drum.
Yeah. I don't know how that sounds on the podcast, but probably just blown up your eardrums.
Sorry if you're listening to the podcast and we just burst your eardrums. Apologies, not our intention.
Yeah, in 99 countries.
Oh, wow. So yeah, Cherie saying I'm looking a little bit Dame Edna. I'll rock the Dame Edna, Cherie. I've got no problem with rocking the Dame Edna. Now, if our international listeners don't know what Dame Edna is, you're going to have to go and Google it because I'm not explaining. But I think it's glasses, Cherie. I think it's the glasses that are making me very Dame Edna-ish. Anyway, I'm keeping them on. So Cherie just says on the live video today, that it took 5 years for her to see you, Lyn. 5 years, honestly.
Wow.
We have our Laura First event every year in Cardiff, and Cherie, you live in Scotland, so you need to come down, Cherie, for the next one, hopefully in the summer, assuming obviously COVID allows.
Yes. And we're in 99 countries with the podcast as well. So there's lots of people to travel to see us. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Too right. So Lyn, when you looked at these stats, what caught your eye?
The 6,000 antibacterial wipes that you've used, Laura. That's amazing, isn't it? I mean, the amount of work that you put into creating a safe environment for the delegates, that's been jolly hard work. I know it has. And, all credit to you for doing that and keeping all of our students safe. And I know you've had some really lovely comments, haven't you, from the students about that. So, yeah, so I think that's been great. And, it's just amazing. I can't believe we've used that many.
Nor me. I'm like, listen, I mean, I want to keep everybody safe, right? Safety, health and safety, and all of that is my number one priority in the training room at the moment. But 6,000 wipes? What have we done with them all? Mind you, when you think about how often we have to clean everything, and as anybody that's watching or listening has been in our training room since the pandemic, you'll know I have become the cleaning queen. We clean everything regularly, and the students clean their chairs regularly, and they have to antibac their hands regularly. But as you say, Lyn, I do think it's probably not great for the environment. But however, it has kept us safe. And I think you're absolutely right. It's been hard work, and I'll be the first to admit it's been taxing at times. But it has meant we've kept everybody safe, and that is my priority. So yeah, which has been awesome. Oh dear, I'm sat here. Hang on, I need more prosecco. Hold on. This is supposed to be a staff party, right? So it's alcohol is allowed. So anybody that's watching live tonight, I don't normally do this, but if you're watching live tonight, I want to know, what's your highlight for 2020? If you've been in the training room with me, or you've done anything with us. I like the fact on this list, I'm going to read some of them out. Colita has even got to the point to say endless antibacterial gel. We've gone through and liters of the stuff. I swear I am 70% alcohol. I really do. I think, you know what, one of the highlights, I mean, there's so many. I looked down this list and I'm so proud of the podcast and so proud of what we've done as a business. But one of the things I think we did brilliantly, and I think contributed to that lovely award that is behind me there, was our online courses. I think we did an absolutely sterling job. I mean, if we go back to the end of March when lockdown actually happened here in the UK, and the three of us had that conversation, went, right then, so what are we going to do? Because we can't sit here and do nothing. And what assets have we got? And how are we going to continue to help people? And how are we continue to make a difference? And, to go literally, what was it, 10 days from start to finish. Now, granted, we had the courses recorded already, but in 10 days, we went from not really having them and not really using them to, having launched them and having got so many people on them. I love it, 251 online course delegates. Like, that's amazing. When it's not really the core of our business, because obviously live training is what we believe in and live training is what we want to be known for. And I think, quality NLP live training and unleash your potential are kind of two synonymous terms these days. But actually to have 250 people, all of whom have been able to study NLP this year online with us, I just think it's amazing. And so many of them loved what they saw and heard and have now gone on to do live training with us. Is absolutely brilliant. And of course, that doesn't even take account of all the free training I did this year on webinars and things like that. And I know, Colita, I can't find the stat right this second, but 640 minutes of free training.
Yeah, and 284 webinar signups. So 284 people had free training on the webinars.
So 284 people had free training with me this year on webinars, and 250 people then went on to do our online courses. I just think that is absolutely
Hang on. 364 people online, 251 face-to-face. Sorry to correct you.
Oh, I read the stats. See, listen, I should just give up. I mean, let's just seriously, I might be the trainer and all that, but clearly can't read information off a sheet of paper. I mean, what's that about? I'm playing a prosecco.
It's even better stats though. So 346 people were online students who actually enrolled in 877 courses across the suite of online offerings that we have. So. Yeah.
Well done.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Rocking the Christmas antlers for that as. Cheers. Cool. I think another highlight for me as well has been the number of people that we've supported during the lockdown itself. I think that's something else that I love about this business, and I love about what we did to help people. And I don't want to go through all the testimonials because there's literally loads of them, but the fact that, again, I think that was another contributing factor to the awards that I won this year was the fact that actually we didn't just focus on us when it came to lockdown. We absolutely thought about our community and who we could help, and the number of people that we have had that have benefited from my business skills and the one-to-ones we did in lockdown and all the online business training that I've done, and of course all the people that have come and joined me in the room. I bet you've got some stats on that, Colita, have you?
Yeah, 47 students benefited from online support sessions. And these were sessions that you kind of just pulled out the hat and helped, I would say 47 people individually. They did sort of transition calls, coaching calls, power hours, all sorts of corona support. So 47 of those, including we had 9 Corona Pivot student support courses, which had also a number of delegates on each course. So there's way more than 47.
So cheers to everybody that's in our community who is still trading or has started a business in lockdown, because amazing. I love supporting the people in our community. And I think that's one of the things, right? If you think about this NLP business, right, we are not just a certificate machine. We actually care about our delegates. We support our delegates. We create social events, we create CPD, and as we know, this really, really, really sets us apart. So yeah, I love it. Now let's talk charity. Let's talk what good we've done this year. So how many trees have we planted this year?
20 trees, I think. Was it
20 trees. So this year at Unleash Your Potential, because of course this is the Christmas. I mean, I wish we could play you Christmas music, but copyright won't allow it. But this Christmas, rather than sending Christmas cards to everybody, we have planted 20 trees. So we have offset 20 tons of carbon. So certainly attempted to help us to make a positive impact on the environment, because, driving my diesel car to and from Cardiff every day to go and deliver training has obviously got a little impact. So we've planted 20 trees. So happy Christmas to everybody, because you all contributed to planting 20 trees this year, which I think is pretty awesome. Now, I don't know where exactly they're going. They are going somewhere in Wales, but quite where, I don't know. Hopefully in a beautiful woodland somewhere. It'd be very nice, wouldn't it, to go and actually visit an Unleash Your Potential tree. I must see if I can find out. We'll start meeting next year when we're allowed, and we'll go and visit the trees.
Bit of hugging, Laura.
Say again?
Tree hugging. Yeah.
Lyn, right. Are you suggesting I should go tree hugging?
Yes.
Feel the love, Laura.
Okay. So anybody that's done Master Prac with me will be absolutely, giggling quite hard at that one, given how much I take out people that like tree hugging. I do like a tree, though. I've got to be honest, I do like a tree. I mean, look, there's my Christmas tree this evening. And it's nice. So yeah. So Lyn, what other memorable moments have you got from this year?
I think I've been really pleased by the number of ambassadors that we've had this year, the number of referrals that we get. I mean, it's lovely that we get recommended so often, and that seems to be increasing, ever increasing really, I suppose. It's just nice to know that people enjoy our courses and they talk to their friends and their colleagues, and then they get referred to us, which makes my job a lot easier, Laura, because they do the hard work for me.
And listen, we all want that, right? But no, I agree with you. I'm gonna take my my glasses off. I think it's time to start undressing, in the nicest possible sense. But no, I mean, I think you're right. I think we've had so many ambassador referrals. So for those of you that aren't familiar with our Unleash Your Potential business, because obviously most people listening to this podcast will be familiar with the great content we put out on our podcast, but you might not be as familiar with our actual business. But yeah, so we have an ambassador scheme. So once people have done training with us, they can join the ambassador scheme, and then essentially they can earn a little financial thank you from us for referring people. And there's all our students say, it's conversations they've been having anyway. And actually, it's brilliant for us, isn't it, when someone's already said to them, look, I had an amazing time on that course. If you're going to do it with them. And like you say, Lyn, it makes your job so much easier. Yeah, I agree. We've had so many this year, haven't we, with people referring, and nothing makes me happier than transferring a little financial thank you to someone as a result of all of that. We've got 108 ambassadors now. Wow, that's a lot. So 108 ambassadors who between them have referred to us £16,000 in training business. So whoop to the ambassadors. So thank you all very much. And like I say, it's a conversation you were having anyway. So thank you so much for that.
We should also mention Rosie, really, because Rosie's been a bit of a star this year because she became our she is part of the team anyway, but she became a bit of a mascot, and she's got quite a following, has Rosie, on social media, and she became our mask-wearing spaniel, which, bless her, she for biscuits and cheese, she did a sterling job. So I think, those sort of are more so the standout moments. And I think, dare I say, Laura, as well, the fact that when things were going really up in the air, we didn't know where the training was happening, we didn't know whether we could continue training, we didn't know where the business was going to go, was actually your sheer determination and inspiration, I think, to keep us as the team going and giving us the confidence to say we can get through this, we will get through this, and we're going to get through this. And maybe the bit that people don't see, because each of us are, we're not close to each other logistically. We do a lot of our work virtually, and I think it's really been great to have both of you as part of the team to support me, because I'm continually churning out social media posts and trying to make sure I'm promoting stuff. Lyn is then, as the goalkeeper, as we call her, she gets it in the scores every time. And we have little team debates at who owned that online course sale. It was me. No, Lyn, take that one again. Damn it. So I think it's those little things that have just made this year just a little bit easier, and actually to keep us going. And Laura, I've got to say, you have just been amazing at motivating, inspiring, and just keeping us going, and also telling us to take time off. Rest a little bit. You can't keep going on an empty cup all the time. So I think that for me is kind of, it's the team stuff, isn't it? We're the dream team. That's it.
We are the dream team. We most definitely are. And thank you for your kind words. It's very nice of you. But yeah, it's, as I always say to people, unleash your, all right, I might be the face of Unleash Your Potential. I might be the face of the NLP Talks podcast, but actually I couldn't do it without both of you. I really couldn't. This business is way too big for one person now, way too big. I mean, if I go back to the very beginning, when, I had time to do social media, and I had time to answer emails, and I had time to do all the things that you guys now support me with. I mean, it was a completely different business. And now I as you both know, I every now and again, I'll be like, you haven't any time off. You need to have time off. And Colita, you need to have the weekends off. Stop working on the weekends, and try and look out for you both. But yeah, I seriously, I can't imagine having two better wing women, if I can call you that, by my side throughout 2020, and what has been one of the most challenging years in business I've ever had. And I think for most people, obviously, Unleash Your Potential has been going now for a good few years. And, and thank God the three of us had so much experience behind us when we hit this pandemic. And, when we all had that wobble at the very beginning, and is the most amazing solid rock that is behind the scenes, and is very good at steadying the ship for us. Yeah. And being that voice of reason and the oracle, as I call her, and steadying Colita and I, go, right, come on, ladies, we can do this. And then I have what I call a, I don't know if I can say the actual word on it, but a brain something passing wind. And I have those regularly. So I have the information and all the ideas, and Pauline and Colita do their best to keep up with me. And but at the beginning of that pandemic, I think, do you know what? I wouldn't have wished for two better people to be at my side. So thank you both so much. Absolutely appreciate what you both have done to support me, to support the business, and of course our amazing community. So I mean, Lyn, I don't think you've ever done as much admin moving people on courses, have you?
No, that was a bit of a nightmare, to be fair. But I have to say that, we all credit to our delegates, really. They were so loyal. They were supportive as well, weren't they? They were supporting us, they were looking out for us, and they were so understanding. Everyone was so lovely on the phone, and sympathising with us, understanding our predicaments. And I had some great conversations with the delegates. They were feeling sorry for me, feeling sorry for you, Laura. It was just incredible. But I think we all pulled together, didn't we, as a team? And I think that's what UYP is all about at the end of the day, isn't it? That we support each other. And Laura, your work ethic is phenomenal. I just don't know how you do it, basically. You're just amazing, the amount of stuff that you get through. And as I said before, you are an inspiration to so many. And I think, you know, I suppose your ethos about taking action and doing stuff is a great example for our delegates. You know, when they want to be successful with their coaching businesses, all they have to do is look to you, Laura, and they won't go far wrong. Okay.
Oh, thank you. And for someone that's been in this industry for as many years as you have, that is amazing. Thank you so much. But yeah, I think anybody that spends any time with me knows that we don't hang around. You know, we're in the business of churning out the best quality practitioners and master practitioners and coaches that we could possibly help support and set up their businesses. And and I think you're right. I think we are, you know, we're lucky. We've got an amazing community. And everybody says that, don't they? I mean, we've had, I'm not going to name them because I haven't got permission, but we've had a number of students join our training this year who have trained with other providers before training with us. I've only got to be in the training room for a day before they start saying, oh my goodness, I wish I trained with you first. Oh my goodness, your community is amazing. Oh my God, your training is amazing. I love it. I enjoy it. I feel like I'm learning. I feel like I'm being stretched. And, you know, and I think you're right, Lyn. I think we've got an amazing community. And and I'm delighted that I get to do what I love, but B, I get to inspire people. And as you know, I absolutely adore that. Nothing makes me happier than getting a message like I got today off one of our students going, I just need to let you know I've done my Facebook Live, or I've just had my first inquiry online, or I've just had a promotion. You know, one lady, as a result of our courses this year, resigned from her job and is now doing what she loves. You know, we've got another lady in our community that's resigned from her job and has now got a job on a significantly higher salary because she believed she could and she would and she did. You know, and that's what floats my boat. And to think that I've had a hand in inspiring people to live the life they want and to unleash their potential in business and life, which is, of course, what our strapline. Yeah, I just think it's amazing. So a big shout out to everybody watching and listening in our Unleash Your Potential community. We would not be here without you, our students, our community, and of course our online NLP Talks podcast community. So this season is coming to an end on the podcast, which is a little bit sad, but I thought we'd do this little Christmas bonus episode. But oh my goodness, have we had some amazing guests on this season? So I'm wondering, ladies, now I know we don't want to upset anyone by picking out names and things, but are there any highlights from series 4 of the podcast that you might like to mention?
Can I start?
Yes, I think you might say the same as me. So go on, Lyn, and then I'll growl in my coffee cup if it's the same.
Well, I'd like to give a shout out for Anne-Marie, I think, because I remember Anne-Marie when she first called me, and she's such a different person now. She's absolutely amazing. You know, the fact that she's got over 200,000 followers on TikTok, including my daughter, by the way, who's 17, you know, and didn't even know who Anne-Marie was, but is following her anyway. I'm just blown away by her. She's just such a whirlwind, you know. She's just done so much to build up her business and to create a successful driving business, basically. That I'm just, you know, awed by her, really. So that's one of my highlights, I think.
Big whoop to Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie was podcast episode 3 in series 4, if you want to go back and listen to it on the podcast. And Lyn, I so agree. And I've said this to Anne-Marie so many times. Like you, I remember Anne-Marie the day she walked onto that first course. She wouldn't have said boo to a goose, let alone be a TikTok sensation and have all of these followers and like whack out a Facebook Live like she's having a, you know, glass of something nice at home, just like second nature, don't think about it. An absolute transformation, and also someone that's done brilliantly this year in pivoting her business, building that online presence and selling her online courses and stuff. So no, I agree with you, Lyn. I think that is definitely a big whoop to Anne-Marie. Cheers, Anne-Marie.
Well done, Anne-Marie. Good job, Anne-Marie. Awesome.
So Colita, what about you?
But I get the privilege of uploading and listening to the interviews. And I think, number one, Julian, I think, inspired me massively with his podcast episode. The fact that he was helping veterans with PTSD. He was also working with teenagers, so a real polar opposite in what he's sharing and delivering, but getting results with both. And for me, that totally inspired me. But that's not saying that all of the others didn't as well, because I think NLP in itself, I trained with you, Laura, way back in 2017, 16, start that time. So I've gone through all the training, so I get it. But to see how many different types of businesses and uses that NLP has, and it's not just about becoming a coach per se. And I think the fact that all of our guests offer something different, and there's, the HR skills, there's the parenting skills, there's the general business skills. So I agree with Lyn totally. Anne-Marie, from when I first met her right through today, she's phenomenal. But there again, so are all of our guests. They've all grown and bloomed and are doing such amazing things.
So if I go back, we've got one more episode yet to come, which is Jan, who is still in the bag, but is coming out on the 6th of January. So watch out for Jan. Jan's going to be talking about how she used her NLP skills in health and fitness and well-being. And there's some real golden nuggets in there. I love the fact she busts so many myths. So that's still to come. But if I go back through what we've released, we've got Jane Baker. Oh my goodness, completely transformed her coaching business, transformed her and what she does in her business. And, to think how much I had to nag her to go on that sales course. And she made her money back in the next phone call she had. I mean, that was just phenomenal. She even says now, should have just listened to you, Laura. And I said, yes, you should, Jane. But thank goodness she did. So using NLP in career coaching and helping people to pivot their careers. I mean, that's just phenomenal for everybody to listen to. Episode 7, going back in chronological order, we had the wonderful Wendy Derrick, who comes and helps on most of our courses, which is awesome. And she talks about how she used NLP in executive coaching, and particularly in policing and prisons. That was fascinating to hear about. Really, really loved hearing about that. And then we had episode 6. I'm getting excited about them all. 6 was Kay Spooner. So Kay works within the National Health Service here in the UK as a consultant anaesthetist. And she talked about how improving her language really helped the patient outcomes that she got. And that was phenomenal to hear about her language skills. Then we had episode 5, the most adorable Louisa Thomas, who talked about her personal development, her journey, and how NLP had helped her to have a passion and make the decision and have the confidence and courage to set up the business that she now runs as a result of finding her passion and running this coaching business. Amazing. Then episode 4, we have Marie, who talks about how she'd used NLP with her son. And that was just, oh my goodness, that was just so heartwarming, that episode, to hear how she'd helped her son and how she was using it to now help other parents and other teenagers. And oh my goodness, that was amazing. Julian, who you've mentioned as well. Missed that Anne-Marie, who we've already talked about, so I'm not going to pick her up anymore, but awesome Anne-Marie at number 3. Episode number 2 was Julian, who we've already talked about using NLP with veterans and with teenagers. And then, of course, we had Rob Moore, who was our first episode. He talks, so Rob Moore, if you don't know, is a multimillionaire who did NLP training a long time ago. And he, in his episode number 1, talks about how NLP made a difference in business and also spent some time discussing with me mindset and business, but also busting the one myth about NLP, which most people have heard, which was phenomenal. Now, you see, I remember, now I'm going to say number 1, not because I don't want to pick one of our students. I just don't want to pick one of them because I think they're all amazing and awesome. But I remember the conversation, right? So those of you that weren't, a little bit behind the scenes of NLP. So we were having a chat between the 3 of us about getting someone big to kick off series 4. And Colita said, I think you should try and get Rob Moore, because Rob Moore had been mentoring me and I'd done some masterminding with him. And I said, don't be silly, we will never get Rob. And Colita's like, I think you should. And then Lyn jumps on the bag and went, I think you should ask him as well. I think you should, nothing, you've got to ask these things, right? If you don't ask, you don't get. So I was like, no, I don't think we can do that. Anyway, it was these 2 ladies that pushed me. So I was like, all right. And then an opportunity presented itself. I seized the opportunity, which is what I'm all about. Seize the opportunities when they come your way. Be prepared and open for them. And all of a sudden, I'm then text messaging these 2 lovely ladies going, you're never going to guess what I've just done. And they're like, oh, you won't guess. And I was like, I've only just gone and got Rob Moore for the podcast. And we were like having a little woo woo, weren't we, behind the scenes? Yay! So what a lovely way to start the series with a multimillionaire talking about the difference NLP had made to him and his success in his business. So I'm so proud of all of our students, so proud beyond words. It's amazing. And I love doing this podcast. I absolutely love doing the podcast because although I keep in touch with the students, you don't get to hear all the stories. And on nearly every single episode that I created, I was learning new things like, oh my goodness, is that how you've used it? And that's one of the things I love about this NLP toolkit is, I train everybody in the toolkit. I make sure that they're skilled and competent and knowledgeable in everything that I teach them. But what I absolutely adore is listening to how they all take that same toolkit. I teach them all, same toolkit, same material I've been training for God knows how many years now. And they all go and implement it in their own environment, in their own careers, in their own, businesses. And, take Marie, for example, 3 promotions since she started training with us. And that's not about setting up a business. That's about the difference it makes to people's lives. And I love the fact of the ripple that I'm able to have with your support, to really help change lives. 50,000 impacted people is what I'm after in my lifetime. So if I personally train 5,000 people in my training lifetime, and I'm not going anywhere, so we got a good old few years to go. I'm always terrified Lyn might retire at some point, but don't tell her. I don't know what I'm going to do when Lyn decides to retire. So Lyn, you're not retiring. You're not out. I'll be keeping you out in your wheelchair, with your walking stick, and she'll still be asking student questions and phone calls. But yeah, so that's my mission. My mission is to train 5,000 people during my lifetime. And if they all go on to help a number of people, then potentially I have the opportunity to impact 50,000 lives in my lifetime. And that to me, when they put me in a box in the ground at the end of the day, to think that I've had the opportunity to impact 50,000 lives, I think is amazing. And that's what drives me. I love the impact that we're able to have by helping people. And yeah, I love it. You know what it's like when you find a job you love. You never work a day in your life. And, that's, I think, the same for all 3 of us, right? We love what we do, we genuinely care, and we genuinely love what we do. So cheers, ladies.
Cheers.
And our amazing community. So there we have it, ladies. What a year. What a year. I think we all deserve a well-earned break over Christmas. And So any final comments, ladies, before we wrap up and go and finish off our glasses? So Colita, any final thoughts from you on 2020?
I think just a big thank you, really, because like you've mentioned a few times, the community, because the students come into your training room. Some of them, they haven't met us before. They obviously get to talk to Lyn, who's very helpful and will steer them honestly, whether it's the right training course or not. They join in the training room and then they join our student hub on Facebook or our business academy, and they actually stick around and get involved. And I think a big thank you, because they also then help the new tranche coming up. I mean, for instance, this year you've qualified 54 certified NLP practitioners and 53 certified coaches who don't just disappear. I mean, some of them do, but majority of them join our online community, which is a private group for students only, but actually support the newbies and even coaches who've been coaches for a number of years. Sometimes you come across a client that you can't help, and the hub is the place where you can feel safely to ask a question, get answers, have a giggle. We do have a giggle as well, but also sharing the information. So I think our community is massive. As much as, yes, it's us 3 behind the scenes and you, Laura, leading at the front. I think our community really is worth its weight in gold, and it's packed with a range, HR professionals, doctors, consultants, teachers, nurses, counsellors, holistic people. There's such a varied amount of people in the community that we love you all. We truly do. And the fact that you engage with us and get involved, and like I know we talked about Laura Fest at the beginning, but I think that's a big shout out to our community, and long may it continue.
Lyn, what about you? Any final thoughts on 2020?
I suppose the big highlight has been, being voted the leading NLP trainer in Wales. I think, the training company in Wales, because that's just such a lovely accolade to have, I think. We are so passionate about what we do. I love talking to prospective delegates. I can talk to them all day about NLP, but I try not to because I don't want to bore them too much. But, I love telling them about what we do and the success stories that we have. And as you say, Colita, we're like a big family, aren't we? Yeah. We do really, make friends with our delegates. They make friends with each other. They support each other. And that's lovely, I think. And yeah, I think that's just, the best job in the world, isn't it, really, to be able to help people. So what could be better? So yeah, I'm going to be here for quite a long time, Laura.
I love it. And yeah, I agree. I mean, despite the pandemic that we've had to trade through this year, and all of the turmoil that's created for us and our students and our loved ones, we're still here, we're still fighting strong. And, this business is, I'm so proud, so proud, that we were able to weather it as well as we have. We're going into 2021 with a fully booked practitioner course in January. We've only got 4 places left on the March course. We're already starting to sell the May course. There are not many NLP trainers out there that can say that is the situation they're in going into 2021. And I am so proud of the podcast, our community, us, what we've done. I mean, I could gush all night, and I won't, because I've already done 50 minutes. It's time for Laura to shut up. But ladies, thank you so much for being such an instrumental part of Unleash Your Potential and the podcast. Thank you to our amazing community for making Unleash Your Potential what it is. Without you, this business wouldn't be here. So thank you to our amazing community. And also a big whoop whoop and shout out to our NLP podcast community, 12,000 downloads, almost 100 countries around the world. And it is our absolute pleasure to bring you NLP and to really help you understand what this toolkit can do for you and it can do for your career and your business. And it is our pleasure to provide this free resource for everyone. So like I say, stay tuned, because although this is the Christmas edition, we are going to be back in the new year with Jan, who's going to be amazing. So we've got that. That will bring us to 9 episodes and bring a close to series 4. If you are listening to this at home and you're Christmas and you've got your feet up, then remember, you can go and check out our website at any point. Just go to www.unleashyourpotential.org.uk. And on there, you'll find a contact form where you can contact the amazing Lyn, who you've now heard from, and she will be delighted to answer your emails or phone calls. And if you send us a message on social media, you'll probably get Colita. And also, in case you didn't realize, there is free training available 24 hours a day on our website. So if you go to unleashyourpotential.org.uk/free, you will be able to access free PDFs, free training videos. And of course, you've got a whole back catalogue of the podcast to be listening to while you're cooking your Christmas lunch, putting up your decks, and walking the dog and walking off your calories on Boxing Day. I mean, listen, take me with you. That's what a lot of the students do, right? I had a phone call from someone the other day. They went, Laura, you came with me on a walk the other day. And I said, did I? She said, yeah, I was listening to the podcast. So do go and check out the free training. If you're listening to the podcast and you're really curious about what this is all about, please do that. And we would be delighted to hear from you. If you've got any questions or you want to find out more about our training, then please get in touch. And so for now, I wish you a very Merry Christmas and a very healthy, safe and prosperous new year, and lots of love from us to you. Take care, and we look forward to catching up with you in the new year.